Facebook page to take care of your body, and you promote that healthy lifestyle to your fans. So I find that a really good thing, and that's what more artists should do, is in that position, instead of fighting over stupid little things and politics. Educate people on things like that. So that's a good thing you're doing there.
I appreciate that, and it's a fine line. People don't want you shoving your ideas or philosophies down their throat, but by the same token, this is information I just wish so much that I had when I was young and I first started having these issues, just because I think people don't quite understand, what a simple allergy or an intolerance might do to you and your quality of life, and we have certain standards and I guess lessons that we're taught when we're growing up about what foods are healthy, quote unquote, and a lot of these messages are false advertising.
Right. Well, I'm a little bit older than you, so I really wasn't educated on food when I was a kid, so it was hard to grow up and figure out what the right things were to eat. I'm not saying I ate totally bad, but it's hard when you're not educated on it, and when you don't know what you're eating, it's not a good thing, and people should be really aware of what they're eating, even if they're eating more organic stuff and non-GMO stuff. I really don't want to go too crazy on the topic, but the better food you eat, the better you're gonna feel. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, and at the end of the day, for any artist, for any musician, this is your passion, this is your life, and so you want to excel at what you do. You don't want to feel tired when you're going into your writing session, so you can't think, so you can't perform. When you do your live shows, you want to give the best possible performance every single time. So just some of these basic principles, I think, are just so important to really make you the best person you can be, so you can be the best artist you can be.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, a lot of bands out there that are doing drugs, and it puts a wear on your body. Even just, the nature of touring and being in the music business. One show is extremely draining. So the healthier you are, but that's hard when you're an entertainer, because you're always around those type of elements and stuff. But
right.
How many? I don't want to harp on that topic too long, so I want to get back to the music here. How many tracks are on the new CD?
There are 10 tracks.
10 tracks, and is there a variety of genres on it?
There are. Almost surprisingly, just because we just kind of wrote and we just kept writing and kind of fleshing out and taking some songs off and that kind of thing. So, there's everything from an EDM track to hip-hop to pop to sex pop. We're just kind of all over the map, but somehow all within the genre of pop music.
Is the track with Andy on the CD, or is that something that's just on the internet?
Right. So any and all music you can find on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, including Andy's remix for the album. That's one package. We are talking about maybe even doing a deluxe version to include these remixes, because besides the one that Andy did, there was also a handful of other Dukes Up remixes, one of which is still about to be released, and then also a handful for the other singles that came off of the album.
Do you sell physical copies of the CD, or do you find your fans don't really buy a product like that?
Well, the demand is certainly there, but that's just one of those things that you have to kind of take into consideration, because a lot of people don't listen to music on CDs, and that's the unfortunate part, because it's so nice to work so hard to make something, and then someone to be able to actually tangibly have your work product in their hand. And that's missing nowadays, because if you're going to print, let's say 500 albums, you will move those, right, if you're continuing to perform and sell and that kind of thing. But most people consume music digitally.
Right. No, I hear you, because I notice a lot of punk style and hardcore bands now are trending back to going the cassette tapes just to get people to buy the music, because that's the only place to buy it, and it's putting the money in their hands. So it's definitely a rough business to be in as far as selling stuff, But but continuing the tour and, having a product to put out there, at least, you can autograph the stuff. And, the way music operates now with all these funding accounts and stuff like that, I mean, there's ways for people to get the perks and put the merchandise in their hand, because there's nothing like really having a CD to look at.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, how many new vehicles even have a CD player in them?
Right. I mean, I think by 2020, they're saying basically there's going to be no CD players in cars anymore, because they're not making as many, so it's more expensive to put in a car, and the car manufacturer don't want to take that expense. So.
Oh, sure. Well, even fast forward with even aux cables, because I have a tendency to put, new music I'm listening to, things I've purchased, whatever, it's all on my phone, and Bluetooth just, for whatever reason, never works for me, so I always connect using an aux cable, and then in some of the newer vehicles, they don't even have that port.
Right. Nope, I hear you. The technology is moving way too quick, so every time a car is released, I mean, I just bought a car 2 years ago, and the new system that's put in there now, like, completely changed. I mean, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got everything now, so that's definitely
right,
exactly
how
it's going to be the focus. So, but tell me where we can find you, the website, everything, so all my fans that want to check you out. She's a talented young singer, so I want you guys to go and explore and check her out and check out the song with Andy Gerald. So tell my fans where they can catch you.
So the end tag for all my social media is Miss Crystal Live, and it's MISSKLYSTLE. And if you just search on Spotify, that's the easiest and free way to listen to any and all of the music. And if you want to support, of course, you can purchase the music through Amazon or iTunes, and then everything's also on YouTube.
Excellent. Sorry. Like I said, I was losing my voice, so it's hard for me to talk. But how many videos did you put out?
So far from the new record, we've released Swear music video, and we've released Duke's Up music video. We are actually releasing the official video for Pressure, which is the third single coming out from the album. So that drops on Tuesday, so everyone should definitely check back for that.
Cool. So I just want to recommend that everybody go out and check out the website. Go on Spotify, play the music, go to one of our shows. You got any live shows coming up that you can promote?
We're in booking rotation right now for the fall. So, same thing with, Facebook. Just make sure to follow and just check back.
Keep an eye out for new shows. And is it hard to, I know I keep sounding like I'm going to end, but I keep thinking of questions. So, is it hard to put together a show? A live show? I mean, is that something that takes a lot of time and effort, or is it just, you guys get together and go right out and do it?
Well, let me just make sure I heard your question right. So you're asking, does it take a lot of time to put together a live show? Yeah, is it a lot of work? I mean, do you get pressure by it, or? Oh, sure, but you know what? I mean, the live show is the the opportunity to actually touch your fans, to look at your fans, to have your fans sing along to your songs. I mean, otherwise you're in a studio for all days and nights. So the live show is just so important. And for me, the live show is very, very, I guess, I'm aesthetically driven. I want to make sure there's choreography. I want to make sure there are outfits and outfit changes. And, for any of the band members who are performing with me at that time, that everything's kind of choreographed out. So I take my live shows very seriously, and pretty much as soon as I have a show, it's I change gears. I'm vocalizing so many times during the day. For me, I just want to make sure that when my fans come and see me, they have the strongest show possible, and the music sounds like the music they bought. Right, I hear you. There's a lot of music out there where they don't put effort into the show. I mean, that's why kind of people think rock and roll is dead, because there's no show. You got to put on a show. There's got to be something besides four guys just getting up on a stage basically like they just got out of work. So when you go to a concert, like I just seen Guns N' Roses, I paid $170, but it was one hell of a show. Gotcha. Well, I'm sure. And, there's certainly something to be said. There's even Troye Sivan, who I just opened for. He came through Arizona he absolutely does his shows in jeans and a t-shirt, and his fans just lose their minds over him, and they love him, and there's a perfect fit for what he does and his presentation. But I've never been the kind of girl who did jeans and a shirt. I'm much more elaborate, and I like to put a little more time and energy into the presentation of my music.
Do you do your recording at home, or do you go to a professional sound studio?
Both. Typically, it's a home studio situation, and I got to tell you, I mean, for some of the biggest producers that I know or have worked with, it's the same situation. They're consistently on the road, they're in tour buses, they're in hotels, so they're working off laptops, and that's kind of where the music industry is at. The biggest hits that you hear on the radio are done in people's rooms.
Right. I mean, that's basically, it's at the fingertips of everybody now with computers and the way everything's developed technical-wise over the past few years. I mean, you don't really need to go into a studio unless you're looking for...
Sure, but there, right, and there are situations, for example, on the new record, there are a couple of songs that are very horn-heavy, that sounds weird to say, they're very horn-heavy, and so we had someone come in, and he recorded all live horns, and so we went to, a professional studio to do that.
Right, I mean, because certain times, certain artists look for certain mixing boards and certain equipment they want to work with, so, I mean, they go to different studios, so it's just, a preference, basically. I've always worked in a studio. I find that I don't work as hard at home on something that when I'm in the studio, and it's costing money, so I kind of slack.
Oh, sure. Well, and then, right, and something else that even goes into it is, you mentioned that you're kind of losing your voice a little bit, and I'm in the same boat. All last week, sick, and my co-writer and I were needing to get a song done, so pretty much all day yesterday just trying to kind of get into the studio and get into a zone, and vocals become an issue when you are getting over sickness, so it's pretty much when that power hour happens where we were able to kind of capture it, you just kind of move on it quickly, and you have the access, obviously, because you have the comfort of your own studio. Right,
exactly. So you're already working on new music to put out?
Yeah, we're already kind of in the process of putting together new songs for our next EP, and then I also have a dear friend who just asked me to do a favor for one of his films, so we're just writing something for his film.
Awesome. That's great. So I just want to thank you for calling in. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I got about 4 more segments to go through here and try to keep it under 2 hours. So I wish you the best of luck in the music industry. Thank you for calling in, and anytime you have anything you want to promote, you can send it my way. I'll do a live read on the air, or you can just call in, just message me before, and we'll go on the air, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, that's great. Well, hey, thank you so much for having me on the show and just giving me an opportunity to kind of promote not only the album, but the great remix that Andy did. I certainly, want to give that some more love if possible. So I appreciate you playing it on your show.
Yeah, no problem. And if anybody wants to get more information, just hit me up. Everybody that's listening to the show pretty much knows where to find me. So I'm going to play There Is No Us. It's Andy Gerald's new band, and here you go.